My name is Kevin O'Neill, and I'm an associate professor of education and technology at Simon Fraser University in the Faculty of Education. The paper is about what learning scientists can learn from architects and urban planners about how to go about and study visionary design. So I've been interested in architecture for a very long time, on a recreational basis entirely. So I did a lot of casual reading and watched films and went on tours. As I read more, I began to realize that there were some things that architecture scholars were doing well that learning scientists don't seem to do so well. I've been surrounded by visionary design for pretty much my entire career as a learning scientist. And I realized that the literature, our literature, is not very supportive of telling the kinds of long-term stories about what happens with visionary design, not as supportive of that kind of teaching as scholarship in architecture and urban planning is. I make a distinction early in the paper about two different orientations to design that any design science can have. One I call building for the future. And that's a relatively modest kind of design in which you look at a future that seems likely to be coming and just try to be prepared for it or to make incremental improvements upon it. The other orientation, and we have this in learning sciences, is what I call the build the future orientation, and it's more visionary in nature. In essence, it looks at a future that might be coming and says, oh no, we could do much better than that. And it tries to enable a very different future through a sort of grand act of design. Those designs tend to be very all-encompassing and tries essentially to put in place a very different future than is otherwise likely to happen. I examined 3 cases of visionary build-the-future designs that were very professionally done and very well funded, but had a lot of unintended consequences. And I examine then, reflecting on those cases, some of the lessons that learning scientists can draw about how they can get better at doing and studying this sort of visionary design work themselves. Please join me in my webinar if you want to learn more about this.